everyone, welcome back again to FAB YouTube channel. Now we have two guests from Malaysia. Could you please introduce yourself first?
Hi, my name is Elia. I'm from Asia Europe Institute, University Malaya. I'm taking my master's in ASEAN and currently in my research program right now.
Yep. And then
So Assalamualaikum everyone.
Waalaikumsalam.
Miss Indri. So same as Elia, my name is Haizat. Currently in final year of Master in ASEAN Studies, ASEAN. And I'm currently in the third semester, where currently both me and Elia are working on our final year thesis, where my research interest right now is based on tourism, where how ASEAN could use their tourism as a soft power to elevate ASEAN in the global stage.
Okay.
So I think this is a good setup where we can explore more on how Indonesian promote their tourism actually.
Yeah. Okay. So both of you come from the same university?
Yes.
Yeah. Which one?
University Malaya?
Malaya. Maybe in the last month we have a guest, a lecture professor from the UNIKIA. Yeah, so now we have a guest again from the Malaysia. We have so happy, very happy to have you guys. Now I just want to ask about why you choose this program and then choose the Indonesia.
I see. Alright, so basically I come from a background of Bachelor's in International Relations from University Sultan Zainal Abidin Terengganu. And I realized that I went into work as an education counselor in the sense that I would help students apply to universities, but that wasn't where my passion was. So after much research and investigating, I guess, I actually decided to go into University Malaya because one is the top university in Malaysia, and another, it has a course of ASEAN studies. So one thing is that I didn't know in depth about ASEAN, and it intrigued me to see a Southeast Asian association. So that's how I went in. And then Indonesia, funny story was that I didn't know I would come to Indonesia this year. Dr. Adil said, oh, do you want to go to Jakarta? I'm like, sure, for what? You know, we can go, we're going to this university called UPNVJ. And we didn't know anything about UPNVJ. So we had a lot of questions, we were very intrigued, especially with your courses. You had, I believe, international relations. You had business. It was all very well, I guess, established, well managed courses. So I wanted to come here and learn more about your university, about Jakarta, but most importantly to really connect with the Indonesian people. Because I think that we watch TikTok, we watch YouTube, we read about Indonesia from Malaysia's perspective, but we've never come to Jakarta and come to Indonesia and learn from the Indonesian perspective itself.
Okay, you have traveled before on online, about Indonesia. I think it's a good idea. And then how about you?
So first of all, about why I choose IR in general actually, because first of all I'm also the same, just at the different university where I also, my bachelor is in international relations, where Elia goes to Uniza Terengganu, but I'm at University Utara Malaysia, which is at Kedah. And also my passion is that I wanted to see how world is working, because as we all know, when I remember there is one quote saying that when you do a lot of research, you can see how messed up the world is. So I was like, why do you think the world is, there's no war and so on, but when we do a research, we as an academic field, when we go in depth into one part of the world, we can see how messed up it is. And ASEAN is I would say a bit less than perfect actually, to see a lot of things, whether it's a political, chaotic, economy, social development and so on. So I think this is international research is where you know the world, how the world is moving actually. You can see that when people talk about IR international, they only see on the political perspective only, how the politicians are meeting. Just now we have ASEAN summit, where you can see only the Prime Minister, shaking hand and so on. But actually, on back of ASEAN summit, there was a lot of people, are working on to make those politicians shaking hands, like the policeman, even as simple as the janitor, the one who clean up all the roads and so on. So I think that's how we understand how the backbone of the world is working on.
Yes.
Why Indonesia? So, you know, historically, I think this is something that a bit of controversial actually, because you know, Malaysia, Indonesia, we always like fighting over the things that we're supposed to fight, like as simple as the thing about football, culture. We always say, oh, this is mine. No, this is mine. So I think, no, I wanted to see by myself. I go to Indonesia because technically I have several of my Indonesian friends actually. I have friends in Batam, Jakarta, Jogja, and so on. So yesterday, I think I met with them, and thankfully, the things that we heard in Malaysia, where Indonesian are bad people like this, like this.
Is it true or not?
No.
Absolutely not. I mean, that was one of the friendliest. I think we are feeling guilty actually, because the fact that, for example, there was one moment where we walked from our hotel to the MRT stations. It was very like, you know, with the macet, all those things, right?
Yeah.
And despite all those chaos situation, the people are still helping us like it's nothing. Like, oh, just go there. Oh, you want to go to MRT? Just turn right, and so on. Because in Malaysia, I don't know, it's like kind of like more of a passive kind of things. Like, oh, you have phone, just search lah. Why do you have to? Who am I to help you? But in here, like, I think it's kind of one of the Pancasila. It's about persatuan, right? So that's how we are. I mean, like, technically we are nobody to you guys, but you guys are willing to help us. So I think one of the reasons I really love about choosing here Indonesia actually is surprised me how willing are you guys, despite people saying, oh, Malaysia is much advanced in terms of development and so on, but I think it comes to social approach, we are a bit behind actually. And why you, and especially, sorry about that actually, because I don't know much about UP and VJ in general, because my friend before this is from Airlangga, UI, University of Indonesia, and so on. But after coming here, I think that one thing I really love about this university in particular is about how the study group is conducted actually. Like you can just sit on one corner and having another corner of to study. So it's a very conducive, because in University of Malaya actually we only have one dedicated place to study, which is the library. That's all. Or either way, we just go to restaurant like Starbucks to study. So this is the place. This is the things that our university need to learn actually. Like make more space for people to learn actually, instead of make just one dedicated place and just cram those people in. Just make a small one, but make it scattered. So I think that is another things that I really impressed when it comes to Indonesian higher education actually.
I'm so impressed with your answer too. I never expected you will explain more detail like that. So maybe one of uniqueness in Indonesia, like the identity that you said before about the ideology in Indonesia, Pancasila, and then we are famous because we are so very helpful and charming. In Indonesia, always said like terima kasih or maybe sorry, something like that. Okay, and for this program, your lecturer give the advice to choose this country, or maybe you choose by yourself first?
So our lecturer actually came to us and said that that's a short exchange program to Jakarta. He didn't say like, oh, you should come or anything. He just says there's this program. If you're interested, just let me know. So we thought like, because we're very close friends as well, we were, you know what? When else are we going to go to Jakarta as a group? When else do we have an opportunity to visit a university such as UP and VJ? Let's just take the opportunity and go. And when we came, your students were already waiting, and then everything was so accommodating, everything was so hospitable. And then yesterday as well, we spoke to some lecturers. We also spoke to your magister students, and it was like, whoa, you know, like our expectations was that you could, but then you got like better. So I think with this program, the short exchange program, it really helped like open our eyes to like, one, the goodness of Indonesia, and I think the things that you struggle with, which really we didn't know, and it gave us a more in-depth understanding of Indonesia, your economy, your social structure and everything. So I think it's a fantastic program.
For the budget, you sharing with your faculty, or maybe this is your own?
For the budget, actually, for the flights and accommodation, it's is backed by the university, but only for like our daily expenses on us actually.
So it's spirit, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So the faculty helpful for your program here.
Yes.
So talk about your project. You wanna
Oh.
be a counselor education.
Okay, no.
Right, counselor education, and you're gonna be one expertise in the tourism.
Yes.
Yeah. So nowadays, when we talk about the education first, what the problem that you see between Indonesia and Malaysia?
Okay, just to clarify, I worked as an education counselor, but I am actually shifting my interest. Because I actually worked in kindergartens, primary school.
Oh.
I volunteered in high school and university during my time in Malaysia. But one of the things that I noticed is that there's definitely a difference. For Malaysia, one thing that I can see, the key things is that in Malaysia, we basically stop wearing uniforms after we get out of high school. But it's interesting to me because I didn't know this. I thought it was just like maybe a preference of university, that most of the university that I've seen, they always have their designated code. And I think that's like one of the things that Haizat has mentioned before, that the concept of Pancasila, of Bersatu, and you show that even through your clothing, as simple as a blazer. And one more other thing is that while we were in the class talking to the magistrate student, a lot of them were working, has entrepreneurship skills, and or already freelancing while doing masters, and that's amazing to me. And I think that's also a connection with Malaysia and Indonesia students, in which that like you're doing your masters, but you're still like trying to improve while you're doing your masters, trying to survive as well. But I can't say there's a lot of difference because I didn't attend your classes. However, the stark like comparison that I can put is that, and I think Haizat can back me up here, is that the compassionate and the passion of the youth themselves in Indonesia. Recently, there was this protest, I believe, in Indonesia, and it was the students that was marching. It was the students that came together and went to say that like this is not fair for the people. And it was very, I guess you could say, humbling for us to see the unity of the students against like what they believe was a corrupted government, and to see how they manage themselves. I saw a picture of like the girls being in the middle and the boys holding hands to protect the girls in the middle, and I thought that was a beautiful demonstration of how youth and also education come together and help build people up. It seems like in Indonesia we have so many problems in education, but maybe just for the university stage, the student, they have like ability, they have the independent or maybe a freedom to speak up in Indonesia. It's more, I think it's more freedom than the other, or maybe it seems like France or maybe America, seems like that. How do they the demonstration? But maybe if you heard before the last demonstration, in here maybe there's so many chaos, but it's okay now today. Day by day it's in the good condition. It also shows how the students themselves and even the lecturers put the responsibility that they are the future, so they start now for the future. That's a really beautiful portrayal.
So I think there is a different topic between you and you. Now today, okay. How about you want to be an expert for the tourism? Now today we always heard about the sustainability tourism. What a point of it?
So when it comes to sustainable tourism, it's more towards, how you wanted to sustain in a long-term run, for example. Like, I think the discrete difference between that makes Malaysia people more coming in a long-term run, right, is connectivity, I would say. Like, for example, in Malaysia, when you touch down in Kuala Lumpur airports, right, international airport, you can go to the city centre seamlessly and go strolling around it in a very connected. We have MRT, LRT, and so on. So people will think that KL is a nice place to mingle around, and going is as simple as 1, 2, 3. Just go here, go here, go here. So the people will go back to their country, promote Malaysia, and come again. So it's a sustainable long-term run there. And then But another thing that I found that we are not easily sustained compared to Indonesia is how we promote tourism actually compared to Indonesia. Because I believe that in Malaysia, the problem that we have when it comes to our tourism is that how the superior, because I think both Malaysia and Indonesia has a very creative youngsters when it comes to, you know, arts and design, music. Because one of the things that in soft power, especially in tourism, you need to promote and use art with your own heart. Or else, like, you know, in the generation AI generation, like, people just, okay, especially the boomers lah, they just go through the computer, put some prompt, and that's it, rather than just paying like several hundreds ringgit for youngster to make such a beautiful arts that might be sustained for, you know, time consuming, but when it comes to, you know, creativity and to attract people, it's not sustainable compared to Indonesia, where we touch down in the airports, right? We can see the design on how the, because I look upon the visit, because next year we will have Visit Malaysia, so I also look at Tourism Indonesia. It's nights and days, because okay, in terms of formality wise, yes, Malaysia is having a lot of beautiful places, but when you wanted to invite people, you need to have some sort of like a tarikan, or it's like a magnet lah. There must be some kind of wow factors and something that, because, you know, when people talk about Malaysia, right, either place or Kuala Lumpur, that's places like Kuala Lumpur, or talking about Anwar Ibrahim, that's it. When it comes to Indonesia, we can talk about music, arts, you know, something that nears to the youngsters rather than just something that related to the government. So in terms of sustain, I would say we are lack when it comes to promoting the tourism itself actually. That's, and also like what you know, on the first day, right, I'm taking Gojek for the first time, and it was very fun, and I promote that to them. All of them are really fun as well, because some people might say, oh, this is such a, you know, why would I take motors to go? But people nowadays, especially young people, they go there for their culture. They don't really care about chaos, all those things. And plus, with the existence of this social media, no matter how dangerous thing is, people do it, I'll do it. So I think, and that's why Indonesia is leading actually, because I think it's also related to, sorry for the long one, it's also related to how our communication ministry do actually, like, and also back to what Ilya said, you know, like how the young people actually, I think the thing that I can conclude here is that the role of the youngster itself, where Malaysia is, I would say, really lag behind when it comes to youth participation, where in our government is still like a lot of what we call that as the level of superior and the entry level, where superior is still filled by these old youngsters, where there is no places, even in university, the young people still like, oh, we just go class, study, that's it. There's no as simple as, oh, we make a startup kind of thing. So I think that's what we lack. Okay, in terms of budget wise, in terms of infrastructure, yes, we are sustainable, but when it comes to the culture itself, we are behind when it comes with it.
That's good. Talk about the media, social media. Now, based on your opinion, which one, we have so many platforms, right? Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, or I don't know, another like that in Malaysia. Which one more effective if we want to show up about one culture, about the tourism? Which one?
Because I think this is also related to education actually, because it's to influence someone about one information actually, because, you know, right now in 2025, right, there is one concept where our brain right now cannot digest any concrete information after 6 seconds, and it gets getting decrease and decrease. And right now it's a very fast pace. Even me myself, before this, I used TikTok until from 2020 post COVID, during COVID until 2023, where at that time I can't even read like a lot of books, because, you know, like I thought it's boring at first, right? Because this can't be my fault, right? Because you see, like when we there is a thing that when we use TikTok or in TikTok or Instagram, we tend to swipe. Oh, what we like, we swipe. Because compare like 20 years ago, right? We watch TV, for example, the news. We don't like news, but that's the only source of information that we have. We force
Ourselves.
if we need to watch with our dad, or else our dad will beat us up. That's it.
So the technology changed us.
Yes.
And fast forward to 2025, we have so many source of information. Nobody watch TV now. It's either phone and that's it. So coming back to your question, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, 100% I would say TikTok, because you know there's a okay, we're talking about a little bit of politics, right? We have election in 2022, especially for the Malay youngster.
In Indonesia too.
For the majority youngsters, those who, I think I forgot what the name of the academician, those who possess TikTok, that party will win the vote of the youngster. And that's true.
Interesting, actually. I believe our summer school this year, we had students from Indonesia that actually did a presentation on populism, Prabowo using TikTok
Prabowo and Gibran. So, in fact, I'm a Malaysian. I don't have to do with this, but I even know the OK Gas song and the Gomoy by Prabowo. And so, I think, coming back to your question, TikTok is the most, I think it's a powerful, powerful but totally dangerous. Why I say powerful? Because, you know, even me as a Malaysian, even people from our other country knows about Indonesia, and even Indonesia knows our parliament, you know, fighting through TikTok as well. And it's so dangerous simply because why? It can lead into like, you know, like I would say like the negative normalization. What I mean by negative is that, you know, when 100 people said, you know, for us 1 + 1 is 2, not 1 + 1 is 11. But when 100,000 people say 1 + 1 is 11, it's no longer because it's believed by practice, not believed by law. So I think that's also another things that I would say is dangerous.
Can
because
I slip in something as well? AI is also something that is changing a lot of the playing fields.
Now technology will follow humans, or humans must follow the technology?
That is something that we need to see. Because I want to be optimistic and say we still have a fighting chance, but at the same time, looking at how reliant we are, especially with AI, it's quite concerning, because knowing that there's an AI race where the first person to do the first AI generated AI will be the one who controls a lot of the information. It's scary in a sense that's like, if we get to the point where we are overly reliant on AI, are we human that has a brain to think ourselves, or are we just, you know, a facilitator for the machine? So I think that's why, coming back to our discussion, education and tourism needs to go back to human touch, like Haizat said. And then education has to go back to the root, which is to discover new knowledge, because machine is fed by us. So we should go back and discover new knowledge, discover new issues, discover the gaps in everything else, especially. There's always gaps in everything, nothing is perfect.
So to answer your question, human will be consumed by technology, or technology will be consumed by human? We need to go back to education. AI nowadays is kind of like more like a drugs actually, you know,
Exactly.
like, because it make us lazy. But those who eager to learn more about how to control AI in general, like okay, I want this, instead of, you know, do my homework in 60 minutes, for example. Then we don't know what the heck are we learning. But instead, what me and Elia do that we learn by our lecturers, right? Find me 5 literature that relate to this essay and compare it in terms of this. We can get so many things that we don't know and what we know. Because I always talk with this with my lecturer actually. AI is like a knife. You can use it to make a really good food, or you can use it to stab you. What do I mean by stab you? It's just, it will consume, just like I said. But just like I said, if you use the AI to boost more of your because you know, like AI, the limitation that we don't have, the AI have, is historical data. We don't live back in 1766 or something. But what AI doesn't have, just like Elia said, is a human touch. Combine those two, and plus with proper education, I would say human technology will follow human. Because back at the end of the day, who's created the technology? Human.
human will prevent the
Yes,
technology.
exactly. Human is
Because
feeling
I
technology.
remember the question come from my philosophy class in the
Mhm.
doctoral degree. So the teacher, the lecturer, give me the question like that. Which one will be the end, the human or the technology?
Yes.
So nowadays we control the technology, not technology controlled by
Yes.
technology cannot control us, right? Now, so we come back again to this your agenda. Okay, what's the problem until you stay here in Indonesia? Do you feel like the culture shock in Indonesia, or maybe you have some problem in here?
I don't really see like a problem like what we experience,
Yeah.
but I feel like a bit, I would say sad, and feel like, you know, like when you feel like, oh, because people say when you go travel somewhere, that's how you know you wanted to be grateful to your country. Because last year we
Yeah,
went to
yeah.
Manila, the Philippines, and this year we go to Jakarta. Like, we talk about the infrastructure, right? You know, when you know the first night I want to meet my friend at Sitos and Silandak Town Square. We just 10 minutes walk in the maps, but they don't like. When I say I want to walk, my friend said, "Why you have to walk? Just take Grab or something." Why? It's dangerous.
Yeah.
Because in KL and like major city in Malaysia, we have proper
We always
walkway.
walk.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing that makes me question what went wrong actually. Like, you guys have so many human power, the infrastructure, the capabilities in terms of human energy, but what went wrong actually? But I cannot say that because I don't live with you guys as an Indonesian. But because I would say that in terms of hospitality, you guys are the best. But one thing that I really feel pity compared to Malaysia is that the digitalization and the modernization, because combine that, Indonesia will be more advanced to us actually, because you have a good guy, a good person, combined with the technology that you guys can control.
Yeah.
We will be left behind.
Yeah, this is, I think it's unique. Yeah, when we go to the Malaysia, so we always walk to go to anywhere. I mean,
Yes.
it's just for 10 minutes, even or maybe 30 minutes. We can go walk. But here, when we come back again to Indonesia, we use Gojek again. To my car. Yeah, I don't know. It's a habitual. Maybe.
Yeah.
How about you?
One of the things that to add up Haizat's notion that when we travel out we get more grateful for our country, I think I felt that in a sense that because yesterday we attended the class to discuss with the magister students and really hearing their perspective on the employment in Indonesia, in the factors that affects employability in Indonesia, it really gave me quite a shock, because they were saying they have such specific requirements to the point where you need to have you need to look your best, the very best. You need to be as high. You need to be. So at one point I was thinking, this sounds just like a modeling kind of audition.
When you go traveling, you meet someone locally, make friends. That's how you know that the world is not as bad as it looks. So one of the advice I would give to the youngster in Indonesia actually is that don't be scared on learning and exploring more about others' culture actually, because what did you listen is not same as what did you see. Like even yesterday we thought that this the perspective might be different between the magister in Indonesia and UM actually, but we have a lot of similarities actually. We can even laugh yesterday together, even though some people are from China and Russia, but we can still talk about a lot of similar things, because at the end of the day we all have same goals, which is to get better life and to help others to not be like us, but be better than us. And the next, I would like to add Elias' point that we always need to, whatever you do in your life, be humble. Because you can brag about, I'm better than you, but you need to remember that someone is more better than you. So there's no point, I would say, to just bragging about you. In fact, when you brag, it just make you feel more harder, because whenever we brag, especially you say in social media, there will be a lot of eyes watching you. Because the more silence you are, the more untouchable you are, because you don't expose yourself. So to end my view is that try to be try to speak more through your action rather than your words.
Okay.
And then try to be a good impact, for our country, our single country. Okay, thank you for your sharing, and then thank you for your time to come to Indonesia. I hope in the next year you will come back again in here just for holiday.
We're planning the next trip.
Okay, thank you guys for always watching YouTube channel from Ruang Podcast FEB UPN Veteran Jakarta, and see you in next video. Bye bye.